Right, hi everyone. So we're here at Superbike Factory in Castle Donington, just on the edge of Donington Race Circuit. We are at the bike meet and it's a bit windy, the camera's shaking a little bit, but hopefully the audio's good. We have got, for heartbeats and horsepower, we've got Shock Rider on his BMW S1000RR, and we've got Lee on his BMW M1000RR. So we've got a fantastic episode today. We'll talk a little bit about the bikes, and then we'll get Lee and Mark's, Shock and Lee's perspective on what it's like to own these bikes. So Shock, starting with you, mate. Tell us about this bike. What are some of the basic specs?
Well, it's stock standard bike, S1000RR. It comes with 196 wet weight, 196 kilogram that is. It's 205 brake horsepower standard at the back wheel. It's electronic suspension. It also adjusts itself, so whatever mode you want it in, it's all self-adjusting. You can actually feel it adjusting when you sat on the bike as well. So, you know, it's absolutely fantastic bike, and what can I say? It's brilliant. It's a lovely bike. You know,
and I think that all works from. It's got so many sensors everywhere, hasn't it? And it's got the. Is it a 6-axis IMU as well, which helps to manage the electronic packages?
Yeah, it does everything for you. And everything right out of the box, really. You can't ask for any more, but yeah, you are right, it has got all that on it. And it comes with absolutely everything apart from the kitchen sink, mate, and food.
Brilliant.
Everything on the bike is electronic, and a lot of people don't like electronic bikes, you know, it's too much. I started off on a raw bike, you know, KX750. Gigster 750, sorry, not KX750, Gigster 750. You know, which is a K6 that was pure raw bike. You know, I got used to riding, then I went up to this. This is my dream bike. So
brilliant. And what year is this?
It's 2024.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Yeah, because this has got the wings, hasn't it? Because up to 2023 it didn't have the wings.
That's right.
And then 2024 we've got wings. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it adds an extra 10 kilograms of downforce.
Yeah.
On the front end, so it does help.
What speed does that downforce take effect though? Because it's not at all speeds, is it?
Yeah,
it's certain...
I'm not 100%. I think it's 110 that'll take effect. So once you get 110, it will start pushing you down more.
So helping keeping the front wheel stable, helping keeping everything on the ground where it should be.
It's got anti-wheelie on it, everything. You know, it's got traction control, ABS, the whole 9 yards, mate.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's packed, fully loaded.
Awesome. So 2024 BMW S1000RR, and then coming to yourself then, Lee, for your M1000RR, RR, sorry. What year is this, Lee?
2024, same.
2024, fantastic. And tell us a little bit about the specs of this bike, mate.
So it's very much the same as that one, except this one's obviously got the titanium internals on the engine. It's a shorter stroke, so where Shock at 14,750 makes max horsepower, I have to be at 16,000.
Okay.
Because of the shorter stroke in the engine.
Yeah.
Slightly different geometry in the front, in that the forks are bigger on this. Slightly bigger downforce package. And obviously the carbon, she weighs basic 16 kilos less than that bike.
Right.
But she puts out standard probably about 18 more horsepower than that one. Right. As standard. But this one's obviously stage 2 tuned.
So the standard horsepower figure for this is?
So depending on whether it's competition, so around about 210, 215.
Okay. And now that it's stage 2, what's it kicking out?
I haven't dynoed it yet, but we're hoping it's well up there.
Right, okay. So it's going to be, so if 210 did you say is the standard?
Yeah, so 210, 215.
So probably looking at what, 220 plus? After stage 2, a bit more than that.
Yeah,
awesome.
She's had the lifters, she's had the relocate kit, she's had everything done, decat, full titanium acropovic system, so she's ready to go.
And is there anything else that's different compared to the S1000RR that you haven't mentioned so far?
There's a lot more carbon on this, so carbon package and the titanium exhaust. The exhaust and the carbon gives me a 16 kilo advantage. And the wing sets on the front he's got 10 kilograms of downforce. I've got 30.
And they're noticeably bigger, aren't they?
They're significantly bigger. I was surprised. I obviously had the S1000RR before this, and I thought I was hopping straight on the same bike, but with a bit more power and a bit more timmy, but it really isn't. It's a completely different handling bike, turns in quicker, just very, very different.
And it looks absolutely amazing, and we'll come back to you in a second. So, Shock, what's it like to ride this bike, the S1000RR?
A lot of people think you get a lot of backache and stuff on these bikes, you know, but with this bike, you can sit up, not bolt upright, but you can sit up enough so you're not right over on your wrists all the time, so you're not damaging your wrists or anything like that, you know, and it's just smooth.
Yeah.
All the way smooth, you know, there's a lot of power, just a little blip on the accelerator and it's gone if you want it to be, you know what I mean? And it is absolutely a dream to ride. It's so smooth, everything about it's smooth, you know, there's no real bounce around on the suspension, even though it's on full stiff suspension because it's on race mode, you know, so it's absolutely fantastic.
I've noticed that because a friend of mine's got the 2022 S1000RR, and yeah, it was really, really smooth. But what I really noticed about it, like you indicated there, was how comfortable it was. Like the bars, compared to my Fireblade at least, the bars are a little bit wider, you know, a little bit sort of further forward, but you just feel really comfortable on it, you know. Like I say, there's no, you know, very little chance of backache and things like that. So being able to do longer distances and be comfortable, it's
I mean, I think what was that? We did 3 hour ride.
Yeah, 3 hours up to Squires.
Yeah,
3 hours.
And is that the same for the M1000RR? Do you find that comfortable, sort of for general riding around during the town and then getting out for longer distances as well?
Well, I've had Gixxers, I've had ZX10Rs. And I went out on a track day with a friend of mine, and he got one of the S1000RRs, and we swapped for a couple of sessions, and I couldn't believe how comfortable it was. Yeah. That just you're not buried in it. Yeah. You're not leaning on the tank all the time, and I just felt it. It was just a dream to ride. And on my way back from that track day, I ordered one on the way home.
Right. And talking about ordering one, because anybody watching this who's not sure will probably be asking, maybe even screaming at the camera now, price tag?
Well, the
so this one cost me out the shop 21k.
Right. Okay.
Brand new out the shop.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the Fireblade RRR SP, which is about 23.5 roughly. So not too bad. So 21k.
But they've all got their add-ons. So you had the billet pack, you had this, you had that, you had the other. This one, bog standard out the showroom, 36.
Why didn't you buy two? But to be fair though, you can understand why. I mean, bikes these days are so much more expensive than they ever used to be. You know, you used to be able, early 2000s, you used to be able to buy a brand new litre bike for under 10 grand. And everything's more expensive. But for what you get, I mean, it is an amazing machine. And you know, it is, I guess, apart from a few upgrades, it is pretty much a super stock race bike, really.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's a road-going race bike.
Yeah.
Shock's got the electronic suspension on his, where this doesn't. It's all manual. Yeah. The forks are bigger on this one. Yeah. It's obviously got a different rear end setup, and the carbon. Steering dampers, everything else. There are the trickier bits on these, but that will do just as much as this will in the right hands. Yeah, absolutely. Which reminds me of a question that I'll put to you both, but I'll come to that at the end. Okay. So stand by for that. Maybe a difficult one to answer. So, Shock, if anybody is thinking about buying an S1000RR, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
Well, if you're going to buy one, just know that you need to have a lot of respect for these bikes. You know, they demand a hell of a lot of respect. You can't just jump off for, say, a Gixxer 1000 and jump on one of these and think it'll go the same as a Gixxer 1000. There's no way it'll do that. You've got to have a lot of respect for the machine, and you've got to give a lot of learning of your leaning angles on this compared to another 1000cc bike. You know, super sports as they come, these are, in my eyes, probably the best ones on the road, along with Ducati, of course. But even so, I'd go for this over a Ducati.
Oh, okay.
They do demand a highly amount of respect for the rider.
But with the electronic packages as well, does give that little margin of forgiveness, I guess. Yeah, because that's what it's designed for.
It can give you forgiveness if you're in road mode.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put it in track mode and stiffen up the suspension, there's very little margin for error. Very little.
Yeah, good. Good point. And then to yourself then, Lee, same question really. If somebody does have the available money as an aeroplane, typical, if somebody is thinking about buying an M1000RR, what would you say to them?
For me, I've ridden most bikes out there, including Ducatis, and ZX10 was the best feedback bike I ever had, in terms of feedback from the front end and be able to push it. And then, like I say, I went to the S1000RR, loved it, and then going to this. Honestly, I would never go back unless they completely screw these things up. I wouldn't go to another bike. The mode systems and the amount of control you have. I mean, as Shop well knows, I always ride in Race Pro 2. I don't have the availability when I switch it to the lower settings that the electronic suspension will help soften up and whatever. Mine is set. It's all in track setup.
It's pretty focused then.
Yeah, it's pretty on it, but it will help with the power and delivery and whatever else. But I generally, as you well knows, turn it all off.
Okay, good. Live life on the edge. Brilliant. So, gents, the ultimate question. Of course, this is a faster bike than the S1K for obvious reasons. Who's the fastest rider?
Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, Lee is the fastest rider. I'll give him that hands down. He's been riding a lot longer than I've. I've only been riding a few years now.
Okay.
And like I say, the reason I got this bike is because it is my dream bike, and I thought, my 40th birthday last year, and I thought, yeah, let's just go for it, so I did. And then I met Lee this year, was it? This year. Yeah, so I met Lee this year. Got together with Lee to do a few bits, and I first met Lee when he had his S1, and I said to him, go on then Lee, I'll follow you, and I'm pinning red line every gear, and I'm still not catching his S1, so...
Brilliant.
He's a lot more experienced rider than I am. So give it a few more years, and I'll be riding just as quick as Lee, I should hope. So, but yeah, Lee's definitely the faster rider.
And gents, thank you very much for that. It's been really interesting chatting about your two bikes. I hope you've all enjoyed hearing about these two bikes. And yeah, thank you for taking part. So, Shock, all the best. Thank you very much. Lee, all the best. Ride safe as always. If you want to take part in Heartbeats and Horsepower, folks, you know what to do. Just get in touch with me and we'll make it happen. Cheers.